If planning an epic vacation in retirement makes you anxious, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's a way to practice spending with confidence and without guilt? You know that you can afford it, you might even want to spend the money, but deep down, every dollar out the door feels like a tiny betrayal of your frugal instincts. Sound familiar? Well, if so, don't worry, you're not broken, you're just a super saver. And today we're going to work on fixing this by practicing spending money on paper before you ever have to swipe your credit card. If you're new to the channel, I'm Benjamin Brandt, and it's my job to make your retirement even better. One of the ways that we can have an even better retirement is to work on replacing buyer's remorse with spender's confidence. According to a recent poll, 63% of retirees list traveling as a major bucket list item in retirement. But how can you plan a bucket list vacation when you've only ever had a normal vacation? Well, I've got the secret. I'll show you how to practice spending money on an epic vacation using a custom tool that I developed, and you can use it for free. Now, this topic and the tool came out of a listener question sent into my podcast, Retirement Starts Today, if you are a podcast person. The listener writes in, for retirees with between $2 and $5 million, how much do they actually spend on travel, and how long do they keep it up before scaling back? Well, the short answer is $25,000 to $50,000 per year on travel for my clients is not all that uncommon. And now maybe that's 2 big international trips, maybe that's 5 smaller trips. But here's the thing, even when retirees have plenty of money, they struggle to give themselves permission to spend it. And that's why we're going to practice spending on paper first. All right, let's jump into the Triple Your Trip tool. Now, this is a spreadsheet that I created to help you analyze your travel spending and push you out of your comfort zone just a little bit at a time. Now, if you want to download this spreadsheet, it's free download. All you got to do is look in the video description and download it for yourself. So it works like this. We take your last vacation and we break it down by category, and then we triple every single line item. Now, why triple it, you ask? Well, because tripling truly forces you to think differently about your spending. Its job is to push you comfortably outside of your retirement zone. So we're going to dive into my laptop and do a screen share. I'm going to show you how this tool works. Here's our spreadsheet. We've got an example sheet on the side here, and then we have the Triple Your Trip sheet at the bottom. So I wanted to walk you through an example, but then have a blank tab so that you can do this for yourself. So I didn't go back to a vacation that I took recently. I actually looked forward, and my wife and I will be celebrating our 20th anniversary this summer, and we're taking our whole family of 8. I've got 6 kids. We're taking our whole family of 8 to Red Rocks in Colorado to see a concert. So we're making a whole week out of it. So these are some hypothetical numbers of what it might cost to take 8 people to Denver for a week. Here's what we think we're going to spend. $2,500 on flights, $50 on baggage fees, rental car. Actually, I just got a new quote from Turo. I've got to rent an 8-passenger vehicle. And putting some of these hypothetical numbers here. And as soon as you enter a number, let's say a hotel, for example, is $2,000, automatically we're going to have it triple. So the Triple Your Trip cost. Now here's what a normal vacation costs on the left, and then we're going to triple that trip on the right side. So you think back to the last vacation that you took. I want you to think about every line item that you can think of. How did you get there? Where did you go? How long did you stay? Where did you eat? What souvenirs did you buy? How did you travel while you were in the town? And list everything that you can in that left side column, recent vacation cost. Then the spreadsheet will triple that cost. And you can go through each item and say, okay, we flew United Economy when we are planning to go to Denver. What if I absolutely had to triple the cost of that trip to $7,500? What would that look like? Well, if I had to spend $7,500 on this trip, what could I do? Well, we could fly first class. It's only an hour flight. Would that be worth it? We could have someone drive us. We could rent an RV and take our time getting there. So think about ways that if you absolutely had to triple the cost of that one line item, how would you do it? And then if that's something that might be valuable to you, we've got a nice little drop down over here that says, yes, I think that actually would be valuable, and I would be willing to gather data on myself and examine if I should spend that money. I'm going to spend it in my mind, and then if it seems like it's something I might actually do, then actually go take a vacation that way. Now I've got great data about myself to say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't like it. So now we've got over here in green, we've got our Triple Your Trip new vacation budget. Now every item that I say yes to is obviously going to be added to that new budget item. Rental car is going to be $1,000. Tripling that would be $3,000. Let's say I'm just sure that I wouldn't love that, right? I'm going to rent a car and it's going to be kind of an economy car, and that's fine. So I put no, and it does not add that amount to my vacation budget. Let's go over to our room. We're just getting a standard room. Maybe we want to rent out a whole house on Airbnb for a week, and that might cost $6,000. I don't know if I would love that or not. That's something that I haven't personally done, so I'm going to mark that as unsure. I'm not sure if I'd like that or not. Now that does, marking unsure, that does add that to our triple your trip vacation budget, because that's data that we need to examine for ourselves. If it's possible that we might like it or might not like it, we've got to investigate that and then get real data to decide if we should implement that into our next trip. Now, whether we like it or don't after we do it, both are good data. Both are good data about ourselves. Liking something means we implement that for the next trip we take. Not liking it means that we've proven to ourselves that we don't like it. It doesn't bring us joy. It's not a good use of our money, and we can skip that for the next trip. What I want you to think about is the last vacation you took. Fill out as many of these line items as you can. This is all in the free tool. It totals it up at the bottom down here. It triples every line item here. And then we get to go through each line item, having a conversation with our partner and saying, is there any realm of possibility that I might enjoy this or might not? So that's the Triple Your Trip tool. It's available for you in the video description, free download just for you. But let's dive right into some of the data as to how we might enjoy this trip. So the first thing I want you to do is to scroll back in your calendar, find the last vacation, and replay that vacation in your mind. Write down every detail: where you went, how you got there, how long you stayed, what you ate, what souvenirs you bought. Every activity and every dollar that you can recall goes into the spreadsheet. For example, let's say your last trip cost $9,000 in total. Now we triple everything. Instead of $100 on a hotel, we book the $300 a night resort. Instead of flying economy class, we go first class, or we rent an RV. Instead of one fancy dinner, maybe we do multiple fancy dinners. Now, before you panic, relax. I know some of you super savers are recoiling at the thought of spending all this money, just like somebody cracked open the curtains in Dracula's castle. We're just playing make-believe. We're practicing spending money. But here's where it gets fun. Once you triple your trip, we get to go through the spreadsheet line by line and ask yourself 3 questions. If we had to triple our hotel budget, would the upgrade feel amazing, or would we barely even notice? Maybe you triple your flight budget and realize that first class is not that big of a deal for you. You don't really care about it. Well, that's good data. Now you know where not to splurge, and we can save that money for something else that brings us joy. Now, if you're not sure whether something would make the trip better, that's your cue to try it at least once. Maybe upgrading your hotel feels wasteful in theory, but what if it actually made the experience 10 times better? We're not going to know unless we try it out. This is really good data. Retirement is an excellent time to try new things, like planning a once-in-a-lifetime trip with friends, family, and loved ones. Now, if you're spending extra money to make yourself have more fun, save some time, or be more comfortable, well, that makes it significantly more likely that you'll plan another trip. Remember that 63% of retirees wanted to travel more in retirement. Well, this is how you can plan a trip with confidence and use data gathered from new experiences to make sure your next trip is even better, more fun, and more retirement confidence in your spending. Now, the goal is not to blow through every dollar of your savings. It's to spend money in ways that actually bring you joy. If it's something that genuinely improves your experience, you should spend the money. Now, if it's something that doesn't matter to you, you should skip it guilt-free, no questions asked. The trick is practicing spending money before you actually do it. Having these conversations with your partner so that you can feel confident when you finally book that once-in-a-lifetime bucket list trip. So here's your homework. Download the Triple Your Trip tool and try this exercise. Then leave a comment below. What's the one thing that you'd actually spend money on that you think would bring you more joy? Now, I hope this video helps make your retirement even better. And if you like this video, you might also like this video.